Oh, it's over here. Okay. Can you tell how often I do this? Good evening, Charter Review Board members. I'm here tonight to speak about item 4. We want to thank you for taking up this very important issue for the voters of Sarasota County. Since the 2018 election, when the single-member district referendum was passed, each Sarasota County voter lost 80% of their vote for county commission. This is the worst form of voter suppression possible. The 28 referendum was financed by a few wealthy individuals funding paid petition signers. That is fine. The voters passed it in 2018. Single-member district elections were held in 2020. One of the claims that's interesting for single-member districts was a drastic reduction in campaign costs. In 2018, the combined spend for candidates was $339,000. In 2020, the first year of single-member districts, the overall spending was $355,000. The actual overall spending increased in 2020 as a result of single-member districts. The proponents of the referendum did not keep their promises. It is time to have the voters decide whether they like single-member districts or not. It is not only the right decision to put on the ballot the option to repeal single-member districts, it will also allow democracy to be in action for all Sarasota County voters. As history has demonstrated, Sarasota voters removed this provision previously after realizing the extensive loss of their vote with the county commission. Thank you for your time.
Eagle Williams.
To the Charter Review Board, I am here to address my concerns about single-member districting. In years to come, my generation will inherit the benefit or consequences of the decisions you make today. The Charter Review Board should look at Sarasota as a whole, not broken up into parts of a whole. As a resident of Sarasota County, we should be able to vote to elect all 5 county commissioners, not just one. We have infrastructure problems as well as other county issues that lie ahead which affect the county as a whole. We are divided on so many issues that further dividing up the county is simply not a good idea. Have you thought through how you would hold one another accountable if work wasn't completed in one of the 5 districts? Accountability is lessened by single-member districting. Won't commissioners point to other commissioners when an issue arises and simply say, I had nothing to do with it? Competition for limited county resources will hurt the fabric of our county community. Do you really want to go to a Congress-style, what earmarks and port projects am I generating for the section of the county I represent? Obviously, looking out for the best interests of the county as a whole will be thrown out the window. Do you or anyone else want that? What about special interests in getting involved now that a commissioner only needs to look out for his or her voters in a particular section of a town? Won't this further divide us? Of course it will. In closing, breaking up the county into separate voting districts and interests will divide us and will hurt the county in the long term. We need to stay united. Let's agree to look out for the best interests of Sarasota County and all of its residents. We need a unified message, a unified plan, and a unified cooperation instead of division. Thank you, Steve Williams.
Lourdes.
My name is Lourdes Ramirez, and even though I'm president of a local Republican club, I'm here to speak as an individual and not on behalf of any political organization. I'm here to support single-member districts. There are misconceptions of single-member districts, but it's not by the voters. It's actually the county government that doesn't get it. Unlike the county commission, I believe the voters are smart enough to understand what they voted for in 2018. Voters decided that they wanted district commissioners to be responsive to them. Sarasota County always had 5 distinct county commission districts. This was done 100 years ago. When the population was in the 1,000, it may have made sense for the county commission to be voted countywide. But now we're 415,000 residents, and it's important that the commissioner who lives in our district is responsible to district needs. It's similar to having the districts that we have for the Florida House of Representatives. I cannot vote for District 74 because I live in District 72. Same thing for County Commission. What does not make sense is having voters in other districts voting and determining who your district representatives are. Should voters in South County, say let's say Northport and Englewood, vote for those who represent Siesta Key or City of Sarasota, or vice versa? That's the one comment I heard from voters when I ran countywide. Voters did not want other people outside their district to choose their representative. For years, the County Commission has ignored district issues because they claim that they have to pay attention countywide. Yet they can represent their district and still do their jobs as county commissioners. The voters of Sarasota County want their district representative to finally listen to them. I've heard complaints from South County for years about how the county ignores them. And for that reason, the number of Republicans who voted to support single-member district was higher in South County than in North County.
Time, Lord.
Thank you.
Dan Miller?
Thank you.
I'll be brief. My name is Dan Miller of Sarasota, and I'm against single-member districts. Single-member districts disenfranchise 80% of the voters, of Sarasota County voters, and that's just wrong. Thank you.
Louise Machinist?
This is a nonpartisan issue, or at least it should be. Every single voter should be infuriated about what the county commissioners are doing. Single-member commission districts benefit voters, not wealthy, powerful, vested interests. Single-member districts are supportive of grassroots democracy. That's nonpartisan. But the issue has been politicized by the county commissioners to maintain political power, just as they brazenly redistricted in order to preserve their power. I'm here to express my sympathies to you, the members of the Charter Review Board, because this effort to cancel the will of 60% of Sarasota voters across all party affiliations puts you in a very awkward position. It happens that the commissioners all have R's after their names, and so do you. I wish you the courage to protect what the voters of Sarasota County knowingly voted for. And as a senior citizen, I find it particularly insulting that the commissioners claim that we voters, many of whom are senior citizens like me, were too stupid, deluded, or confused to know what we were voting for. We know exactly what we voted for. It's outrageous that Sarasota County and the whole state of Florida are controlled by politicians who attempt to cancel the will of the voters to serve their own purposes every single time they get a chance.
Andrea Shalesko?
Sorry, this is my first time doing anything like this. I was born in 1950. I graduated high school in 1968. That was the last year there was a member of the Sarasota County Commission that did not belong to a single political party. Both of those things happened 53 years ago. If somebody wants to run for a countywide seat, they need to get as many as 120,000 votes. That's hard to do. It either takes a huge army of volunteers or a huge amount of money. In this county, that means that only candidates with an immense funding stream can win. The chances of a grassroots candidate winning in this environment are slim and none. Sarasota County has been built up in the high rent districts to the disadvantage of the South County. The expensive seats have a fake lake for rowing exhibitions, and Northport, the biggest city in the county, doesn't have a hospital. And now developers are starting to clear River Road, a one-lane evacuation route for Northport and Englewood. We could see that our South County issues were not going to be addressed. We wrote a citizens petition, it got the required signatures and got it on the ballot. It passed in a general election where 59.84%, almost 116,000 voters were in favor. The amendment passed in 2018. That was only 2.5 years ago. Voters of every political persuasion supported the passage of single-member districts. So how did the county commission respond to the voters? Instant gerrymandering. If you have to cheat to win, that's okay. But now you want to do away with something that 60% of this county supports because a Democrat or an independent or a Republican not in the pocket of big real estate developers might win? You have total control for 53 years. The people just got a chance for a seat at the table. What are you afraid of? You can always gerrymander again.
Donna Cubit? Donna Cubit?
The voters in this county passed a referendum to institute single-member districts. And the language of that referendum was vetted according to law and was found to be clear and straightforward so the voters understood what they were voting for. And there was a pretty broad and lively discussion during that referendum campaign in the newspapers, live, in various places, including social media. It seems to me to be great hubris now to try to flaunt the will of the voters and to say, I didn't know what I was voting for. Well, I sure did, and most people did. And I see it as a waste of your time, which is very valuable, but mostly a waste of taxpayer money to revisit this again. Thank you.
Rita Genoa?
Hi, good evening, and thank you to the Charter Review Board. My name is Rita Gignari. I'm a former candidate for County Commission District 2. This is a subject near and dear to me. A few moments ago, all of you stood and saluted our flag, and you took an oath. You took an oath to defend the Republic of the United States. A republic is a republic by definition because it is the will of the people by their votes to be heard and the elected officials to carry out those rights. This board should not have this present issue come up by the county commissioners. The people have spoken. The Republic has spoken. Please do your duty and please honor the respect and will of the votes of the people and defend our republic. Thank you.
Catherine Rodriguez?
When running for office, Kennedy Legler said, "I believe the foundation of the CRB is that it listens to the concerns and recommendations of the citizens of Sarasota County. It is the ideas brought to the board by the people that should initiate change." Ms. Cole said, "As an elected member of the Charter Review Board, I am accountable to the people, there to help promote and advocate for the people. I'm not there to promote special interests or my own agenda." Ray Collins said, "My priorities would be simple: to protect the charter from special interests, listen to the people, and serve the county. It seems presumptuous to me that a board of only 10 people would consider thwarting the will of 59% of the people in Sarasota County. Please respect the will of the people you are elected to serve.
Richard Steckler.
There's a concept called wisdom of the crowds, where the crowds tend to know more than the so-called experts, i.e. the politicians. This is a concept that has been proven, written in an article, as a TV show, and while working on Wall Street, I proved it mathematically that that is accurate. Our voters understood exactly what they wanted, and they know better than the politicians. And I respectfully ask that you honor what the crowd, the voters of the county of Sarasota, have voted for. Thank you.
Neil Ranford.
Chair and board members, my name is Neil Rainford, and I did sign a speaker's card. Some of what I may say may have already been echoed or previously spoken. However, I do believe it is important to reiterate the facts of single-member districts. I would like to start with some statistical facts. Sarasota Herald Tribune in 2018 recommended no vote on single-member districts. Sarasota County citizens have lost 80% of their representation within the county. Last election cycle, 40% of voters did not even get to vote for a commissioner. This election cycle, 2022, 60%, over 191,000 residents, will have no vote for representation. With normal redistricting processes, the growth within Sarasota County, it is possible that some may not be able to vote for many election cycles due to redistricting that's going to happen with the census. Those that have gained a complete understanding of single-member districts understand that a single-member district is not about fairness or costs of election cycles for grassroots campaigns, but rather certain individuals and groups attempt to pick off a commission seat that for decades has been principally conservative. This is about silencing our voice and our votes in hope of change of policy. The argument that costs are high to win elections countywide doesn't hold up to facts. Out of the 3 seats up for election in 2020 for commission races, the first election cycle affected under single-member districts, the eventual winners raised a combined total of $186,000. In 2016, the last time those same 3 seats, the winners raised $160,000. This amounts to a 16% increase in spending to win a single-member district seat. If your current district's top issue is River Road expansion and in other districts is beach renourishment, who in the collective county wins when more than likely each of those issues will not receive the attention they deserve, as it will become ward politics with 4 votes against both. Thank you.
Gene Steckler.
Members and board members.
Please speak into the microphone.
Voters of all political parties voted yes to change to single-member districts in 2018. Voters have been clear in preferring single-member districts over at-large districts. The benefits to our constituents for single-member districts are several, including 1, local candidates are better able to run for county commission office. 2, elected county commissioners are accountable to people in their district, not to distant power brokers. 3, elected county commissioners serve on the commission for the good of their district.
Note that the state representatives are elected by single-member districts. Sarasota County is so large, it includes portions of 5 state legislative districts, 2 complete districts, 72 and 74, and parts of 3 others, 70, 71, and 73. County commissioners should continue to be elected by single-member districts as well. Just as voters have told us they want single-member districts, and they are clearly not confused. There's no defense for overturning voters once the voters have passed their voter-approved initiative in 2018. There's no legitimate reason the CRB has for overturning a voter-approved referendum. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Christine Irving.
Hi, thank you for letting me speak here tonight. I've lived in Sarasota most of my life, and I'm here tonight to say, please do not repeal single-member voting districts. I almost didn't bother coming here tonight because sometimes I get the feeling that some politicians don't really care what the average voter thinks. I almost became one of those voters who gets so discouraged and becomes disengaged, who just gives up and doesn't show up. But here I am, not giving up. I believe I represent a lot of people who don't trust politicians, like politicians who want to change the rules so they can choose the voters they want. I don't trust politicians who want to undermine the voters' decisions regarding single-member districts or conservation or the rights of ex-felons to vote. I don't trust politicians who imply that voters are too ignorant to understand what they were voting for in 2018 when 60% voted for single-member districts. I don't trust politicians who waste taxpayers' time and money trying to change voter districts 1 year before a national census, all to further their personal, professional agenda, as happened here in 2019. I don't trust politicians who take dark money contributions and then serve the few who can pump dollars into their election campaigns in exchange for special favors. I don't trust politicians who want to dilute the voting strength of minority members of our community, or politicians who want to keep political campaigning an expensive county-wide affair, so less well-known and well-heeled candidates have to drop out. I know I sound very distrustful and negative, but on a more positive note, what I want is for Sarasota County's democracy to be the best it can be, with fair representation for all areas and all voices, and for voters to know that their commissioners understand the needs and issues of all the people. And if the people think single-member districts are the right choice, listen to us. Thank you.